Hi everyone and welcome to another painting tutorial. So today I'm going to take you through the Salamanders game from the Bad Oak War. So over a white scar undercoat, I'm just going to begin by applying some cyan and yellow contrast paint with contrast medium, approximately equal parts mix. So just the one coat of this, and just ensuring that I get as smooth a transition as possible around all of the power armor. So after giving the cyan and yellow contrast approximately half an hour to dry, I'm now going to be using Bad Moon Yellow contrast. This is one of the new contrast paints. Just straight from the pot, directly over the yellow. Now, I did this initially as I wanted the yellow to look a little bit smoother. So as you can see, it's just smoothing out all of the cyan and yellow. Now for all of the parts I've just pointed out, I'm going to be applying Black Legion contrast paint straight from the pot. And again, as with the cyan and yellow contrast, and really with any contrast paint or shade, you just want to give that approximately half an hour to dry. Now at this point I was pretty happy with how the yellow was looking, however it was still a little bit patchy in some areas, so I've decided to clean that up with Flash Gets Yellow by Citadel. And this one has been thinned down, of course. So just looking to cover most of the power armor, but also just leaving a little bit of that contrast paint. Now for all of the parts covered with the Black Legion contrast paint, I'm just going to begin highlighting those with German Grey by Vallejo, followed by Dawnstone and Administratum Grey by Citadel. Now, although this tutorial is mainly focusing on the power armor, I did decide to leave the bolt gun in as I didn't include the painting of the backpack on the Space Marine. But the steps that you see here with the bolt gun are exactly the same for the backpack. And I'm using my Raphael 8404 size 1 brush for this. As I've mentioned many times in previous videos, just a really affordable brush, but it's of a very high quality as well. So I definitely recommend giving them a try. I find the size 1 to be the most useful. However, size 0 is good as well. I've also used a size 2 before. But at, I believe, $22 Australian, definitely an affordable brush that I certainly get many months out of. And as you can see here, I did include the feet as well. Again, as mentioned with the bolt gun though, the same step will apply for the backpack as well. Now using Magmadroth Flame contrast paint, yet another one of the new Citadel contrast paints, I'm just going to begin by applying just a small amount of this on the groin of the power armor, and also some more patchy applications, just using some sponge. And this will be focused mostly just around the legs of the power armor. Now, I decided to use this as when I was referring to the artwork for the Salamanders, the Retro Salamanders scheme from the Bad War. It did look as though they had some sort of worn armor underneath, and it did look like a fairly vibrant sort of orange-like color. So I figured, what better color than to use than the new Magmadroth Flame contrast paints. Definitely one of my favorite out of all of the new ones that I have been able to try. Definitely recommend giving this one a go. And after giving the Magmadroth Flame approximately half an hour to dry, as with the other contrast paints, I'm now going to be moving on to the final step of the power armor, which is just doing all of the design work on the power armor using a Baden Black. Now for this, you definitely will want to refer to the image of the Retro Salamander scheme from the Bad War. As I was painting and filming this, I myself was doing that very same thing, as it will certainly help you with how to position the design It's not that it's overly complex. However, if you don't have a reference and you haven't done this before, it may not result in the exact way that you wanted it to look, especially when it's overlapping into different sections of the power armor, as you want to try and get it as even as possible, just so that it all matches up. So as you can see, just have the point of my brush facing directly towards the miniature, just for that little bit extra control whilst doing this. And you will find as well, perhaps not with the entirety of the design, however, you might find with some of the lines that once dried, you will have to go over those again with the Baden Black, just to make sure that the design looks nice and smooth. So I'm just going to continue this all the way around the power armor. So as you can see here, I'm just filling in the center for where the chapter symbol will go. Now, I'm not actually going to be including the chapter symbol in this particular tutorial. However, it is very, very simple, as you'll see yourself, if you do want to try out this color scheme, of course. When you look at the Retro Salamanders from the Badabor scheme, you'll notice it is an almost comical looking skull. And I guess colors I'd recommend for that, or the ones that I used, I should say, was just a base coat of Xandri dust, followed by a simple highlight of Ushabti bone. And then for the eyes, I just did Wild Rider. Actually, no, sorry, it was Evil Sun Scarlet base coat, and then at the center of the eyes, I just used some Wild Rider red. All Citadel paints, of course. And yeah, if you need to correct any of that as well, just simply go back to the Abaddon Black to fix it up. But as you can see, it's a pretty cool color scheme. Definitely unique, and certainly a lot of fun to paint. And surprisingly not really that time consuming either, as the Abaddon Black design across the power armor, it doesn't actually need any highlighting. I mean, you could technically highlight it with some grays and that could look cool, but it certainly doesn't need it, I would say, not with all the other details. And here are some photos of the completed Retro Salamanders Space Marine from the Badabor. So I hope you found this tutorial useful today. Leave a like on the video, comment below another chapter you might like to see me do next. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.